Five powerful themes for this Sunday Gospel, Matthew 25:14-30. Stewardship of God's gifts, overcoming fear and taking initiative, multiplying blessings through faithful actions, accountability and eternal perspective, joyful participation in God's plan. As we reflect on the parable of the talents or the parable of three servants, may we be challenged to embrace the responsibility of stewardship of God's gift. The parable emphasizes the responsibility of stewardship over the talents God has given us. God gives everything to us. It comes from God. It goes back to God. Christian life journey calls for stewardship. The resources we have, you're called to share towards the kingdom of God. Let's reflect on the unique talents, skills, and resources we possess. We are challenged to consider how we can actively use these gifts for the benefit of others and advancement of God's kingdom. How those servants made 5 into 5, 2 into 2. We are called to invest. We are called to expand our talents towards the kingdom of God. Overcoming fear and taking initiative. The third servant buried his talent out of fear. The parable encourages us to overcome fear and take initiative in using our God-given gifts. What are the common fears we face in our life, such as fear of failure or fear of inadequacy? Let's step out in faith, trusting that God values our efforts. Let's take tangible steps towards using our talents for the glory of God. How do we overcome fear? Fear has two meanings: forget everything and run, or face everything and rise. The choice is ours. Multiplying our blessings through faithful action. The servants who invested their talents were commended for their faithfulness and were able to multiply their blessings. Well done, my good and faithful servant. Come share your master's joy. It inspires a sense of faithful action. As we reflect on how we use our actions, no matter how small, can lead to a multiplication of blessing in our lives and lives of others. The transformative power of consistent, faithful stewardship. The more blessings we receive, the more faithful action we are called to do so. Accountability and eternal perspective. The master in the parable holds the servants accountable for their stewardship. The theme highlights the eternal perspective of our actions. May we consider the long-term impact of our choices. Our stewardship is not only about the present, but has eternal significance. May we have a mindset of living in light of eternity and making choices that align with God's kingdom. Our choices, our accountability determine the eternal perspective. Let the last judgment, the future ready. Since we are in the discourse of Matthew, it is the discourse of eschatological nature, future ready. How do we prepare for eternal perspective right now by being accountable? Joyful participation in God's plan. The joy of the master and the faithful servants upon successful stewardship conveys the joy of participating in God's plan. May we have a sense of joy and fulfillment that comes from actively participating in God's work. May we find joy in using our talent, serving others, contributing to the flourishing of the community. in the family, in our neighborhood. May our faithful stewardship bring joy to both God, ourselves, and neighbor. May we recognize the talents and gift that God showers in our life. As we reflect on the parable of the talents, may we be challenged to embrace the responsibility of stewardship, overcoming fear through faith, multiplying blessings through faithful actions, live with an eternal perspective, and find joy in actively participating in God's plan. Let our lives be a testimony to the transformative power of faithful stewardship and a commitment to building God's kingdom on earth. Well done, my good and faithful servant.